Hello, Paula Daniele from Crochet Hooks You here, and today I'll be showing you how to crochet an alternate single crochet bookmark. It measures 23 centimeters long and 4 centimeters wide, or 9 inches long and 2 inches wide. This will fit into any standard sized book. So we're using chain stitches, the US single crochet stitch, and slip stitches. So this is a beginner pattern. And the materials required are an 8-ply or sports weight category 3 yarn with a 4mm or G6 crochet hook. We'll also be needing scissors and a yarn needle. You can use any other yarn and the corresponding crochet hook if you like, but I'm keeping it to a thinner yarn because when you put it between the pages you want something thin and not thick. So we'll get started by making a slip knot. So getting our yarn, and with our 4mm hook, so just leave enough of a yarn end there to weave in later with our yarn needle and make a slip knot. Pop the hook in, pull down, and you can chain on any uneven amount of chain stitches for the foundation chain, but I'll be chaining on 33 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So that's the foundation chain. For row 1, we're going to be working into the back bumps of the foundation chain. So here on the front you've got 2, and on the back you've got 1 bump, and we'll be working into the 1 bump with our single crochet stitches. So for row 1 it'll be 1 single crochet into the back bump of the second chain. So if you turn it over you can see there's the first one and there's the second one. So we want to work into the back bump of the second chain. So 1, 2. So there's our first single crochet stitch into the back bump of the foundation chain. Now we'll do 1 single crochet into the back bump of each chain stitch right to the end of the row. into the back bump, make a single crochet. Back bump, single crochet. Back bump, single crochet. So we'll just keep doing that right along. If you're having trouble finding your back bump, just turn your chain over, find the V, and then turn it back, and you'll see there's the bump, the back bump there. Into the back bump, single crochet, and the reason we're doing this is it gives a very neat edge. Into the back bump again with your next chain stitch and make a single crochet. Right along this row. Into the back bump, making a single crochet. Still working into our back bumps here. With each chain stitch, making a single crochet stitch. If you need to pull out some more yarn, then let's do that now. So into the next chain stitch, working into the back bump, we make a single crochet. and I'm on my last one here into the back bump and make a single crochet. So this is what it will look like at the end of row 1. And now we're going to turn our work. For row 2, we'll chain 1, and the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So now we'll be doing 1 single crochet into the front loop of the next stitch, and that's this stitch right underneath the chain 1. So into the front loop. Now I'll show you the difference between the front and the back loop. This one here is the front loop. This one here is the back loop. We're just going to put the hook up under the front loop. Like that. And there you can see the back loop is sitting at the back there. So once you've got your hook into the front loop, we'll be making just the normal single crochet stitch. And the back loop sitting back there because we've only crocheted into the front loop. Now for the next one, the next stitch, we'll be doing 1 single crochet into the back loop. So this one here, that's the front loop and that's the back loop. So now we insert our hook into the back loop. See how the front loop's sitting under here? We're going into the back loop and making a single crochet. Moving on to the next stitch here, and then we go into the front loop. I'm just trying to get a very good view for you here so you know where to put your hook. So we're in the front loop here. Make a single crochet. Then into the next one, we're going in to the back loop. And making a single crochet. And that's all we'll be doing. Front loop, back loop, front loop, back loop, single crochet into front loop, single crochet into back loop, and we just keep repeating that right along until the end. So we've just done a single crochet into the back loop, so now we're coming into the next stitch into the front loop with our single crochet there. Now we go into the back loop of the next stitch with a single crochet. Next stitch, front loop single crochet, next stitch, back loop, single crochet, next one is a front loop, single crochet, next one, back loop, next one, front loop, next one, back loop, next one, front loop, next one, back loop, front loop, next one, back loop, next one, 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 front loop, next one, and last one, back loop. So that's the end of row 2. Now we'll turn our work. And for row 3, we'll be repeating row 2. So we chain 1. That does not count as a stitch. And now we'll be doing 1 single crochet into the front loop of this stitch here, right underneath the chain stitch. So just into the front loop we'll be making a single crochet. We move on to the next stitch and we go into the back loop. And we make a single crochet. The next stitch will go into the front loop to make a single crochet. Into the next stitch, into the back loop. With a single crochet. And so we're repeating that right across the row until the end. So we've just gone into the back loop with that one. So our next stitch, our next single crochet stitch is in to the front loop. Next one, back loop. Next one, 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 front loop. And the last stitch we do into the back loop, making our last single crochet into the back loop of that last stitch, and that's the end of row 3. So now we'll be doing the edging, which is slip stitches. So I'll pull out some more yarn, and this is just one round of slip stitches right around until we come back here. So we'll be working on the end, and we're going to do a slip stitch into the side of this single crochet stitch here. Then we move across and one single crochet. Sorry, one slip stitch. Oops. One slip stitch into the next space there. Then you can see another space here, and we do a slip stitch, and then there's the last space here, and we do a slip stitch in there. Now we'll be moving around and working along this side. So we'll be doing slip stitches into each stitch right along down here. So into this stitch here, you can see there's a knot. There's your tail, yarn end. There's a knot there, and we're going to do the slip stitch into this stitch next to the knot. Then moving on to the next stitch, make a slip stitch. And then we just keep going on with our slip stitches into each stitch along. And these slip stitches are just creating a nice neat edge. So one slip stitch into each stitch along. Slip stitch edging is very relaxing. It just gives it a really nice, neat finish. And now we're at the end of this side. So make your last slip stitch there on that one there. And then we're going to turn and work on the end and do the same as what we did on the other end. So there's a stitch there. We want to go into the side of that stitch under both loops and make a slip stitch. And then we're finding the gap there and make a slip stitch. There's the next gap with a slip stitch there, and then into the side of the stitch here. And this one's a little awkward. So popping a slip stitch there, so you'll have 4 slip stitches on each end. And then we're going to move around. I'm going to work down along this side here with our slip stitches and slip stitches into each stitch along this side. So there's our first one. our first stitch along this side. So we pop a slip stitch in there and then slip stitch into each one along. So we're on the home stretch now. So once we reach the end of this side, we will be finishing off. So one slip stitch into each stitch along. This is good practice for slip stitching. Okay, so now we're up to our last one here, last stitch to make a slip stitch into. Now we need our scissors with a good length so that we can sew that into the back of the work. Now we finish off. Now we need our yarn needle. And we're going to turn the bookmark over. And getting one of our yarn ends, thread it through the needle. And then we're just going to take it down the middle of this stitch here and then down the back of these stitches. Pull that through and then just give it a little pull like that before you trim that off. Then we're going to sew this last yarn end in, and we'll do it exactly the same way as what we did. So just find that stitch there and go down through the middle, and then up through the back of the stitches, because we're just hiding this yarn end. So pull that through and then just give it a little pull like that, and then trim that off. And there we go. Our bookmark is finished.